Warriors! If the US dollar collapses, would you be ready? My name is Coach JB. I am the top health and mindset coach in the world. What you believe in your heart, you think in your mind, will eventually become your words and become your reality. I say that on a daily basis, but you repeatedly do gets ingrained in your subconscious mind. What gets ingrained in your subconscious mind becomes an unconscious activity. And what becomes your unconscious activity becomes your reality. And if you can see it in your mind, you can eventually hold it in your hands. So I'm the coach who follows the life of Jesus. I love God. I'm non-religious and I love everybody. If you're Buddhist, Catholic, Mormon, whatever you are, I love you. All I ask is that we come together in the biggest shift in generational wealth and we open up our mind to a new awareness that this is a higher consciousness money, not our money. This is God's money. And I've learned over the past 15 years that money is just energy. And going through the banking system, 12 years in banking, learning economics, scaling banks from the ground up and leaving to become a warrior in a modern day society and losing my money 3 times, and the third time I finally figured it out. I figured out that money is vibration, money is energy, and money is available to all of us. But I also figured out the economic system, and it's very, very flawed. And so what I'm going to do today, this goes into cryptocurrency, because I'm going to talk to you why cryptocurrency is exploding right now, why it's going to continue to explode. But you have to know the game so you can't be played. What goes up must come down. So as the cryptocurrency space goes up, there's going to be a massive pullback at some point that will go into a bear market. But as you go into the bear market, it's important to know the game. We're going to get our warriors ready for 2025, and I believe that we're really going to become the richest people in the world, the uncommon 1%, but that's for another time. I'm going to show you the boring stuff. I'm going to educate you, so if you make it all the way to the end, you are a true warrior. So these are the things that I spend my day watching, the research that I do. So I'm basically a warrior coach. I have 1,200 warriors in my academy worldwide, 15 different countries. We have people strategically placed in our warrior academy to help people to grow into this new quantum financial system. Everything you need is in the description down below, but at the end I'll explain that quite a bit. So I was watching this today, only 12,000 people, 11 hours ago were watching this. So think about that. 11 hours ago, only 12,000 people have watching this. This is the Honorable Jerome Powell, Chair of the Governor's Board at the Federal Reserve System, talking again about our economic system. And I want you to listen to some key words that he says. He shares with us over and over again where we're going. You just have to listen to their words, warriors. But here he is right here after he's asked a question, avoids a question, and the guy asks it a different way. And I'll narrate and break this down for you, understanding assets, assets, assets. If you don't want to get into crypto, gold, silver, I am running from the US dollar. I'm in crypto, getting into silver, and I'm also going to be hedging it against a product, the 401k, called an MPI. So I'm going to have a rock solid strategy that's all away from cash, building a fortress around me and my family for generational wealth. So let's listen to this video.
Okay. Well, let's just talk about, let me try it another way. Are you worried about debt and deficits? The debt is pretty high, 27 trillion or so, and the annual deficit is now about 2.5 to 3 trillion or so. Is that a concern to the Fed in terms of impacting inflation?
So yes, in the over time and in the longer run, the U.S. federal budget is on an unsustainable path, meaning simply that the debt is growing meaningfully faster than the economy, and that's by definition unsustainable over time. It's a different.
Okay, so just to share with you guys, it's important to understand this. So our GDP right now, our gross domestic product, all the products and services in our world, if we sold all of them, we could not pay off our debt. China, I'm going to talk about China in just a moment. China has a good GDP, one of the best GDPs during the C word, during the pandemic. Whereas this is all by design. They're moving into a brand new economy. So what he's saying is, now he's going to make an excuse about it. This is a non-sustainable economy that we're in America.
Thing to say that the current level of the debt is unsustainable. It's not. The current level of the debt is very sustainable, and there's no question of our ability to service and issue that debt for the foreseeable future.
The current level of the debt, if it continues this way, what are we doing? We're in low interest rate environment. Low interest rate environment, that is the monetary system. Low interest rate environment, they're pumping money into the economy. They're wanting you to take that money and buy loans. Think about that, warriors. So if that continues, we're already in a bad place in regards to the economy. It's going to grow at a rapid pace.
I would also say, though, that as a nation, we will have to eventually get back to a sustainable path. That is something that is best done in very good times when the economy is at full employment and when taxes are rolling in. This is not the time to prioritize that concern, but it is nonetheless an important concern that I believe we will ultimately have to return to again when the economy is strong.
Now, you have
So that's super important. When the economy is strong, okay? So I'm going to share with you what scares Jerome Powell the most. I played this over and over again. I'm repetitive. I want to ingrain this in your head. So he said, when our economy is strong. But here's his confidence in our economy and job market as it comes back.
So for me, it would be the risk that there is some longer run damage to the productive capacity of the economy and to people's lives who've been disrupted by the pandemic. And it's women who are not by choice out of the labor force. It's kids who aren't getting the education they should be getting. It's small businesses that there may be generations of intellectual institutional capital that's being destroyed. And it's just workers who are, out of work for a long period of time and losing their connection to the labor force and really losing the life that they had. So that's the thing that I worry about the most.
President Lagarde, you have the last word.
So I want you to think about that. What he's worried about is the middle class. I've showed you guys. He says in other videos that we are coming back to a new economy leveraged towards technology. He is completely worried, supposedly, about the middle class. What he's saying here is once we get back to the normal employment levels, that everything will go back to normal. This debt is not sustainable, warriors. This printing machine is not sustainable. At some point, this has to collapse. Every fiat currency in history has collapsed. Why is this important for you, warriors? Because cash is trash. Robert Kiyosaki, Ray Dalio, cash is trash. You should be running for assets, warriors. I'm not a financial advisor. This is not financial advice. That's what cryptocurrency is. It's an asset. That's what gold and silver is. It's an asset. You should be hedging against the US dollar, okay? So I want to show you, now he talked about, they were talking about basically the economy in the future, right? Leverage towards technology. The middle class is going to get wiped out. They're going to keep interest rates super low all through 2021. And they're going to pump money into the economy through stimulus. You're going to get more stimulus checks, warriors. Trust me, it's coming. So now you have money printed in the economy, right? They're just devaluing the US dollar. You're getting low interest rate loans, which is great for investors, right? It's cheap money. But warriors, that's just a debt-based cycle. Nothing gets better. He's worried about the middle class. It's leveraged towards technology. A bunch of middle class are going to get wiped out. And what that does, they're going to start doing UBI. They're going to be giving you a paycheck every single month from the government. But guess what? That makes you super, super poor. You think you're poor now, you're going to be way more poor when you're relying off your government. The wealth gap is going to become massive. So now this was October 20th, 2020, and here's what future jobs will look like.
COVID-19 is one of the biggest crises of our time. It has impacted every single one of us, shaken our social systems, and disrupted every sector of our economies. The automation of work, combined with the global recession, led workers to lose their jobs at an accelerated pace compared to previous years. And this trend is expected to continue. The ongoing shift in the division of labor between humans, machines, and algorithms might displace 85 million jobs worldwide in the next 5 years, while 97 million new roles, ones that are more adapted to this new task distribution, may emerge. By 2025, companies expect to displace roughly 6% of their total workforce. 1 in 2 workers will need reskilling, and those remaining in their current roles will need to update 40% of their skill set to adapt to the changing labor market. There is a way to collectively benefit from these challenging times. Decades of research have shown that the most valuable asset of any economy or company is its human capital. Around the globe, companies are already experiencing a shortage in relevant skills for future roles and are investing in reskilling and upskilling their workforce. By 2025, organizations say they will train over 70% of their employees to ensure they can smoothly transition into the jobs of tomorrow. These include DevOps engineers, artificial intelligence specialists, digital marketing managers, talent acquisition specialists, and customer success specialists. It will take on average between 2 weeks and 5 months for workers to pick up new skills, allowing them to move into these new roles. But data shows they won't need to have the perfect skill set to start transitioning. While 2/3 of employers expect to get a return on investment in employees' reskilling programs within just 1 year, governments will also need to step in to update and fund education and training systems and to ensure displaced workers have adequate safety nets. With purposeful leadership and collaboration.
Yeah, I want you that displaced workers have adequate safety. They're setting you up for UBI, universal basic income. And that in history is when the poor get really poor and the rich get really rich. So there's a moment in time right now where you're either going to be the people who follow into the government taking care of you, or you're going to become the narrative warriors. That's the opportunity we're in right now. If you are the middle class, you have a really, really big choice to make, warriors. Now, I'm not trying to make this grim, but I've been telling you guys, there's going to be a massive bull run in cryptocurrency this year. This summer, going into the end of the year here. There's going to be a pullback, just like it does with the market cycle. I believe 2025 is going to be massive. Not only the jobs training, the banks are going to be switched over. Everything is going to look different by 2025. Your whole world's going to feel different by 2030, and your world's going to be unrecognizable by 2050. I'm investing in 2050 type future stuff, okay? So now we know that Jerome Powell is going to keep interest rates low all through the year. They're going to keep printing money. That is not good for your economy. The more money that's printed, the lower the value of your money, and when they increase inflation, now your milk, your gas, your lumber prices are higher. Your loans are lower, but the products and goods and services are higher, and your dollar is worth less. It's putting you into a debt trap, okay, a monetary system that you cannot get out of, and they start giving you UBI, universal basic income, and also with a negative interest rate environment, once you have CBDC, central bank digital currency, they can actually decrease the value of the money in your account. So it forces you just to push your money into the economy. So savers will be losers in the future unless they're saving in assets. Okay, so let's jump ahead here. So China leaps into the central digital bank currency, but similar progress eludes the U.S. China has leapfrogged much of the developing worlds in establishing a digital yuan. Central bank digital currencies are a growing source of interest around the world as cryptocurrencies flourish. The U.S. Federal Reserve has taken a more deliberate approach to the issue, and it's unlikely to make any reactive moves to this development in China. I've been telling you guys for a while, since my last YouTube videos last year, is that China's heading to be the new superpower. I was showing you the gross domestic product last year of the U.S. We were completely upside down. If we went into a car dealership, we couldn't even buy a car. Our credit would be so bad. China has managed their debt very, very well. China is very advanced. China has already tested their CBDC, and China is wanting to launch their CBDC by the Winter Olympics coming up. Not sure if that will happen. By 2022, China will launch their full digital currency. Now think about that, warriors. China is racing to the superpower. We'll get into that in just a little bit later. But I want you to hear Fed Powell, who keeps repeating the same things over and over again. So we're going to listen to him talking about digital currencies and what America is doing to move forward with digital currencies.
Sector actors to create their own kind of digital quasi-money type of instruments. So there are significant both technical and policy questions to do with how we would go about doing that. I would say that we're committed to solving the technology problems and to consulting very broadly with the public and very transparently with all interested constituencies as to whether we should do this. I would also say we are the world's reserve currency, and we have a responsibility to get this right. We don't need to be the first. We need to get it right, and so but this is something we're investing time and labor in right across the Federal Reserve System. You may know that the Federal Reserve Bank of Boston has a partnership with MIT looking at one particular thing. We're doing research.
I'll leave it right there. Has a partnership with MIT. Gary Gensler comes from MIT. Gary Gensler takes over Jay Clayton's job for a short amount of time to what? To bring in crypto regulation, warriors. Coinbase IPO'd yesterday. We're getting ready to have a Bitcoin ETF. Warriors, this is getting so thick, the narrative. It's time to stop believing the narrative. And I know you guys are watching this, you're not believing the narrative anymore, but you're going to have people that are going to push and pull you away from cryptocurrency. Now, I'm not asking you to invest in it. What I'm asking you to do is learn the game. So what I have done is created a rock solid portfolio of fundamental cryptocurrencies. And as those cryptocurrencies appreciate in this bull run, I have a very strict ladder exit strategy. I'm actually exiting out of 50% of my portfolio before the end of this bull market. But I'm holding it 50% for the rest up until 2025, then I'll make a new decision on my exit strategy. And during the bear market, just like I did last time, I'm going to be buying the dips, buying the blood in the streets, and I'll be selling the euphoria, right? So I made a lot of money in the bear market by being a non-emotional fundamental investor. Okay, so my strategy is I'm hedging completely against the US dollar. I have a strict exit strategy, like I said. As I take out profits, I'm buying silver, staking. Silver, staking. And I have another strategy as well that I talk to my warriors about. So the key is understanding the game so you can't be played warriors. This is your time. This is the key to life, to know the opportunity right in front of you, to know that we're moving from the third industrial revolution to the fourth industrial revolution. So what I've done, it's not a perfect academy, but is one that has drawn people in from all over the world, coming together as one ecosystem. Cryptocurrency courses, access to my portfolio, exit strategy, cryptocurrency calls every single Thursday, technical analysis call on Friday, leadership calls on Wednesday and Saturday, and a 120-day challenge. This is the thing, warriors. The 120-day challenge teaches you gut, mind, also goal setting, vision board creation. 120 days to reprogram your subconscious mind so you don't follow the sheeple, so you don't look at the narrative this way, and you're able to open up your mind and think for yourself. I'm not your coach, I'm not your leader, I'm just open up your awareness and possibilities to you as a human being. So 120-day challenge, access to my portfolio, exit strategy, Discord with thousands of warriors in there helping each other and supporting each other. You will never find a community more tight-knit supporting each other. So everything's down in the description down below, warriors, and as we always say, warriors, rise. If you need anything, just let me know. Follow me on Instagram, CoachJB_, and my podcast, Coach JB.